Today's video is in part thanks to one of our dear viewers, Andreas Marrero. Thank you for the suggestion, and if you would like to see a particular character in one of these videos, comment down below on who they are and where they came from. I'd also like to give a shout out to two of our newest subscribers, Vinicius Cavallo. I am butchering that name, I do apologize. And our second one is Metal Sasquatch. Thank you all for subscribing. Now on with today's video. Greetings, my dear viewers. It is I, Drayhon, and welcome back to Dungeons & Dragons Character Conversion, where we take a look at characters from across media and bring them in to Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition as a playable character, using their lore as a base of inspiration. And today we are taking a look at the anime Kabaneri of the Iron Fortress. More specifically, the second protagonist, Mumei. And I've got to say, I really like this anime. I am currently at 7 episodes in, and I've already gotten a basis of who Mumei is. Now, not completely, because I did not want to get into spoiler territory for any of you who have yet to see this anime. But just these 7 episodes was enough to give me a baseline for this character, along with the wiki page. Now, I'm sure there are a couple of backstory pieces that I have not gotten to, as it has been mentioned in a couple of the episodes that Mumei is not the only Kabaneri from her, I guess, colony? No, not colony. Port? I can't remember exactly what the settlements are called, but from her city, I guess. Alongside Koma, who was turned into a Kabaneri via other means. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get on with today's video. Since Mumei is a Kabaneri, she has increased physical abilities. Her strength, her speed, and of course she is a little bit more durable. However, she has a tendency of tiring out. So we're going to keep Constitution at a baseline of 10. Strength will be a 13, Dexterity will be a 15, Intelligence will be a 10, Wisdom will be a 14, as she can sometimes see a threat coming before anybody else does. And we'll be sure to get more into that aspect in this build as well. Charisma will be a 10, while she does have a way with words. Sometimes she uses the wrong words, or she forgets to explain before asking a question or trying to persuade, so she ends up, instead of rolling persuasion, ends up rolling intimidation on accident. Which can be hilarious, but can also be detrimental. So our charisma is going to stay at a 10 just because of that. Now, what exactly is a Kabaneri? Well, let's go ahead and take a look at the wiki page and find out. To quote, Kabaneri are neither fully human nor Kaban, but rather individuals with Kaban bodies who have managed to save their minds from entering a Kaban state by preventing the virus from entering their brain, usually by using an asphyxiating restraint, similar to Mumei having that ribbon tied around her neck. and Ikoma having the, I guess it's a metal restraint around his neck. Continuing. Because of this feat, Kabaneri are able to continue as Kaban-human hybrids, possessing drastically enhanced speed, superhuman strength, reduced sensation to pain, high physical resistance, and rapid healing. Furthermore, additionally, due to the Kaban bodies, they require blood as nourishment and are still at risk to succumbing to the virus without having a restraint on or not receiving enough blood to drink. They need blood as nourishment. Doesn't that sound familiar? For our race, we are going with Dhampir, since it is the only race that has the same generalizations and characteristics of the Kabaneri. Because we have the Dhampir hunger, which can be put down as blood, since that's what a Kaban needs as nourishment. Blood. As far as the origins go, Mumei actually fits in with the Dhampir origin. A radical experiment changed your body, making you reliant on others for vital fluids. According to the wiki, and I'm guessing this will be in episode 8 once I finally get to it, it will be explained that Mumei became a Kabaneri due to experimentation. And she, as it said in, I believe, episode 6, was the only test subject to have survived the experimentation and not turned fully into a Kaban. Also, Dhampir, you'll get some ability score increases. We're going to increase strength, dexterity, and wisdom each by 1. We get Ancestral Legacy, which grants us 2 skills of our choice, Athletics and Acrobatics. We'll get a Dark Vision of 60 feet. We'll have Deathless Nature. We get Spider Climb, even though we haven't seen Mumei use it. I think I've seen the Kaban use it, though, so it makes sort of sense for a Kabaneri to have it. We also get the Vampiric Bite, which is 1d4 plus Constitution modifier piercing damage, and we have the ability, once we use this bite, to either restore some of our hit points or give us a bonus to the next skill check or attack roll that we make, equal to the amount of damage that was dealt. I say that's a plus side! Now for our background. We're going to go with the Haunted One background. One of my favorite backgrounds, and it works perfectly for Mumei, as we do get to see some of the past that sort of still haunts her within episode 6 and 7. With our proficiencies, we have the skills Investigation and Survival. We also have the languages of Undercommon and one of our choice. We also get the feature Heart of Darkness. If you are using settings such as Dragonlance, Strixhaven, or the Spelljammer settings, you also get access to 1 free feat at first level. Go ahead and grab Mobile, which will give you a plus 10 speed. Now for our class, and we're going to start things off as a monk. We have seen this demonstrated by Mumei in the very first episode. She does know how to not only use her firearms, but also her physical capabilities. Kicks, punches, sometimes even slaps. But she does know her martial arts, which is what one of our abilities are. We get a hit die of 1d8, starting hit points of 8 plus our Constitution modifier, extra hit points of 1d8 plus Constitution modifier per monk level. Proficiencies are simple weapons and short swords. We have one type of artisan's tool of choice or musical instrument of choice for our tool proficiency. Saving throws are strength and dexterity. We also have 2 skills. Go for insight and stealth. You have unarmored defense and martial arts for your features. Moving on to level 2, we get access to Key, which our Key save DC is 8, plus your proficiency bonus, plus your wisdom modifier. We also have unarmored movement and dedicated weapon. Moving on to level 3. We are going to go with our Key field attack and deflect missiles, but we also need our monastic tradition. We're going to go with Way of the Kinsei. Now, thing is, Mumei has her 2 guns as her weapons. 2-weapon fighting states that it needs to be a melee weapon. So that's going to be a problem, though I have a way of settling this, and we will talk about this later in the video. So unfortunately, we cannot have them as a Kinsei weapon, as it requires the weapon of choice to lack the heavy and special properties. Thankfully, another weapon Mumei has access to is, I'm guessing it's a musket. So that would be fine as a ranged weapon of our choice. We can actually see it in a scene or 2 of the anime. I am guessing it's going to be a little bit later than I am at currently, as I have yet to see her use one. But a musket and a longsword will do just fine, and at 8th level, go ahead and take a pistol as another monk weapon for your Kinsei weapon option. You also get your agile parry, Kinsei shot, and way of the brush, which gives you some extra proficiencies, which was calligraphy's tools and another tool. I just don't remember what it was. For monk level 4, we get access to the features Slow Fall and Quicken Healing, as well as an ability score improvement. Go ahead and increase your dexterity by 2 points. At 5th level, we are going to grab extra attack, focused aim, and stunning strike from our monk levels. Now for the fun part. We're going to multi-class into Barbarian. And this is because we have seen Mumei take on a sort of rage state. As we stated in the beginning, when Mumei takes off that ribbon, she is able to access a little bit more of her Kaban powers. But also, we have seen her in episode 5, I believe, take on a more, don't know how to say it, focused, more an adrenaline rush, kind of an anxiety state because of some semi-bad news she got from an old friend. It's complicated, but she does gain more access to her Kaban state. However, this does end up putting a strain on her, so she has to be careful, which we'll get into once we get to 3rd level. We get a hit die of 1d12 with extra hit points of 1d12 plus constitution modifier per barbarian level. We'll get proficiencies in shields and martial weapons. We'll get rage, and normally we would get the unarmored defense of the barbarian. However, we already have the unarmored defense of the monk, so we don't need it. Moving on to barbarian level 2, reckless attack. We have seen Mumei take on a more reckless approach to fighting when she's upset. So that sort of makes sense to have that reckless attack feature. But the most important part is going to be level 3, and that is the primal path of the Berserker with the frenzy feature. Like I stated, once she takes off that necrostrike, she gains a bit more access to her Kaban abilities, being faster, more agile, and a little bit stronger, though she does end up tiring herself out. So I want you to keep that in mind. This does, in fact, harm Mumei in the long run. If she is to go this long without resting, she will tire herself out, which is the feature of Frenzy. Once you are no longer raging, you gain a level of exhaustion, which fits perfectly with how Mumei's powers behave. Moving on to level 4 Barbarian, we're going to grab the feat Observant. This will increase our wisdom by 1 point, give us the ability to read lips, and give us a +5 to our passive perception and passive investigation scores. Moving on to level 6, a monk will go ahead and get key empowered strikes and the Kinsei ability One with the Blade, giving us magic Kinsei weapons and deft strike. And that's pretty much it for Mumei. But I can't help but think that we are missing something important. Right. The dual wielding. Okay, I think I got something. Let's go ahead and multi-class into Fighter. We're going to go ahead and get a D10 for a hit die, an extra hit point of 1d10 plus Constitution modifier per fighter level. We'll get proficiencies in light armor and medium armor, and a fighting style of close quarters shooter, giving us a few more bonuses on using our firearms, as well as the second wind feature. Level 2 fighters get access to Action Surge. More attacks on our turn is always nice. Of course, we can only use this once until we take a short or long rest. Moving on to level 3 fighter, we are going to visit the Dark Tides of Bilgewater, Legends of Runeterra, for the martial archetype Renegade. Remember, our problem is that Mumei cannot dual wield with a firearm. So we need a feature that allows us to do just that. And thanks to the Renegade feature, we get the following abilities. Scoundrel's Wit, which gives us access to more skills, Persuasion, and Sleight of Hand. We also get Gunfighter Form, Pistolia, which gives us access to a flintlock firearm. We get Weapon of Choice with the firearm upgrades of Blade and Black Powder and Barrage. At 8th level, we'll get the upgrade of Crosshairs. Blade and Black Powder is the important one here, as it gives us the ability to sort of dual wield with our Pistolia. When we make an attack with our Pistolia, we can then use a bonus action to make an attack with a sort of dagger-like weapon, which deals 1d6 slashing damage. Which is nice, since that's what we sort of see with some of Mumei's fighting scenes. And Barrage is just there for some rapid-fire shots. And for our upgrade save DC, it is 8 plus your proficiency bonus plus your dexterity modifier. We used Renegade before in the Ash Williams build, but I think it fits perfectly with the Mumei build thanks to this firearms upgrade, Blade and Black Powder. Moving on to level 4 fighter, we'll get an ability score improvement. Go ahead and increase your dexterity by 2 more points. Level 5 fighter would normally get an extra attack feature, but we already got that from the monk. So let's go ahead and swiftly move on to level 6 fighter. We're going to grab the feat sharpshooter. If you guys remember, this gives us a -5 to our ranged weapons attack roll, but a +10 to that attack's damage roll. Going ahead and bypass some of those higher hit point Kaban that we have to fight. Moving on to level 7 monk, we get evasion. Level 7 fighter gets the ability Cunning Shot from the renegade. And oh boy, this feature actually fits with Mumei. Thanks to Cunning Shot, your firearm ignores the resistances and the immunities of your target. That's spectacular, and I love it. Ignore the resistance and immunities of your target. Perfect. A little bit overpowered, I would say, but it works for the purposes of this build, since we are trying to get through those cages that are surrounding the hearts of the Kaban. Moving on to level 8 monk, we're going to grab the feat alert. This will give us a +5 to our initiative, and we cannot be surprised. Which means we do not enter the surprise round by being surprised. And finally, level 8 fighter gives us an ability score improvement as well. Go ahead and increase your wisdom by 2 points. And that's the end of the video. Did you all enjoy? Let me know down in the comment section below, and just a reminder, if you want to see a very specific character in the next video, let me know in the comment section below on who they are and what piece of media they come from. If you all have noticed that we have actually started to do Pathfinder videos on Thursdays, so if you are interested in Pathfinder builds, be sure to check those out. Until next time, this has been Drehan, and I am offline.